You know, Batman is always remembered as the guy who's got a backup plan if the first one flops. He always has contingency plans, and he's even prepared to take on Superman and other mega powerful beings like Darkseid. But what happens if all his plans go south? What if Batman gets totally humiliated, despite being known as the guy who's always ready for anything? Stick around for this video, cause I'm gonna bring you 10 situations where Batman faced some serious humiliation, whether it was physical, psychological, or he just got totally shaken up emotionally. Curious yet? Let's dive into another top 10 here on the channel, and hey, don't forget to smash that like button, hit that subscribe button, and ring that bell so you're the first to know when more videos about our beloved Caped Crusader drop. Plus, you'll always be in the loop with all the latest DC news. Thanks a lot, guys. Let's get into the video. 10. Broken by Bane. This is probably the most remembered humiliation that Batman went through. Nightfall is one of the biggest and most famous Batman stories from the 90s. Bane emerged from the shadows and freed a bunch of Batman's villains from Arkham Asylum, making them each take a shot at the Dark Knight one by one, slowly breaking down Batman's defenses and leaving him completely wiped out. Finally, Bane zeroes in on the Batman himself in the iconic Batman number 497. Alone and exhausted back at Wayne Manor, Batman comes home to find Bane waiting for him. With nothing left in the tank, Batman puts up a futile fight against his opponent, ending with Bane breaking Batman's back over his knee. Batman barely gets a punch in against this monstrous foe, making it one of the most one-sided defeats in the Dark Knight's 80-plus-year history. 9. Left at the altar. Calling Batman's relationship with Catwoman inconsistent is a huge understatement. They've battled it out countless times, but there's always been some flirty tension, even during the most heated moments. Finally, during the DC Rebirth era in Batman number 50, released in 2018, Bruce Wayne and Selina Kyle were set to tie the knot. Unfortunately for Batman, the wedding wasn't meant to be. Selina leaves Bruce at the altar, arguing that a happy Batman can't effectively meet Gotham City's needs. Bruce's heart had been broken before, but getting dumped on his wedding day was just plain brutal. Tom King, who was writing Batman at the time, did manage to get Batman and Catwoman married in his maxi series Batman, Catwoman, but that story isn't part of the main DC continuity. 8. A teenager figured out his secret. One of Batman's trademarks is his ability to keep valuable secrets locked tight. Even more so, everyone knows how selective he is about who gets access to those secrets. So, it must have been a shock when a young teenager deduced that Bruce Wayne and Batman were the same person. During a visit to the circus where he grew up, Dick Grayson meets young Tim Drake. Not only does Tim figure out that Bruce is Batman, but he also discovers that Dick was the first Robin, followed by the late Jason Todd. He urges Dick to tell Batman that the Dark Knight needs a Robin. Tim eventually becomes Batman's third sidekick and, let's be real, he's a fan favorite. For those who don't know, Tim Drake is known as the smartest and most strategic Robin, almost reaching Batman's level in that regard. Pretty cool character, right? 7. Beatdown from the mutant leader. This is another humiliation that Batman fans remember. It happened in The Dark Knight Returns, which remains one of the most revered Batman stories of all time. Frank Miller's portrayal of an older Batman coming out of retirement to defend Gotham again has been referenced, adapted, and honored countless times. While the epic features some of Batman's most surprising victories, it also includes one of his most humiliating defeats. The Dark Knight faces the mutant leader, a street gang leader who's been terrorizing Gotham City. The mutant leader is younger and much fitter than the aging Batman, but the Bat decides to confront this younger opponent anyway. He pays the price when the mutant leader beats him down to the brink of death. Only a wild escape tactic and an untrained Carrie Kelly save Batman from this humiliating loss. Of course, he returns with his classic preparation and takes out the mutant. 6. Gagged. Batman, The Widening Gyre was a miniseries written by Kevin Smith that's filled with strange moments for the Dark Knight. But nothing is more humiliating than when he gets captured by Cornelius Stirk in the early pages of the third issue of this bizarre comic. It's Robin who has to rescue Batman from this embarrassing situation. Batman has been in rough spots before, but seeing Gotham's greatest protector tied up and gagged is something readers aren't used to. 5. Getting beat up by homeless people. Back in the 80s, some Batman stories featured a character ironically named Legs, a war veteran who lost his legs in a landmine in Vietnam and ended up as a homeless guy in Gotham City. With strong opinions, this character was an alcoholic and often seen arguing with other homeless folks. You wouldn't think a guy like that would pose a threat to Batman, right? Well, all of this happens when the villain Anarchy is rallying the homeless to aid in his cause. When Batman goes to check out an abandoned construction site, they come out of the shadows and attack him, with none other than Legs delivering the first blow, taking down the caped crusader with the makeshift cart he uses to get around. With Batman down, the vigilante gets beaten up by the homeless. 4. Beaten by Wonder Woman. This one's definitely memorable for fans. Considering that Wonder Woman is a demigoddess, we can say that getting beaten by her isn't exactly humiliating, it's actually expected. So what makes Batman's defeat at the hands of Wonder Woman and Hikatia humiliating isn't just the fact that he got pummeled, it's how he responds to it. Because Batman the dark, tough, hard-nosed dude ends up begging for her forgiveness while kneeling, trying to invoke an ancient ritual that would put him under her protection. Nice try, but to make it worse, she rejects him, just like Achilles rejected Lycaon, in her words. 3. Outsmarted by the Joker. Batman's most iconic villain is, without a doubt, the Joker. The Dark Knight and the Clown Prince of Crime have been at each other's throats for over 80 years. But in The Brave and the Bold number 111, Batman finds himself teaming up with the Joker. When a series of murders attributed to the Joker don't add up, Batman concludes the unthinkable: the Joker must be innocent. Thanks to his sense of morality, the Dark Knight teams up with the Joker to help clear his name, tracking the crime back to a thug named Slade. Batman locates Slade and moves in for the catch, but the Joker reveals his trap. The Joker and Slade had teamed up to orchestrate the murders, allowing them to get close enough to Batman to take him out. Letting down his guard led to Batman being humiliated by his arch-nemesis. 2. Saved by the Joker. Talk about a twist. More humiliating than anything, it's just plain embarrassing that Batman has his life saved by the Clown Prince of Crime. The most notable time this happened was in Batman, Europa, where, seeing the Dark Knight falling off a church roof, the Joker uses a grappling hook to save his enemy's life. While Batman still questions whether the Joker genuinely intended to save him or just missed the grapple, he admits that he owes his life to the clown. That being said, there's another equally awkward moment in the story arc The War of Jokes and Riddles, where Batman loses his cool and goes for the Riddler with the intent to kill him. This would break Batman's most sacred rule, never to take a life, possibly causing him to quit his crusade. That doesn't happen, though, because the Joker intervenes, putting his hand in front of Batman's knife and stopping him from killing the Riddler. The clown bursts out laughing at the irony of the situation while Batman remains devastated, kneeling on the ground. 1. Kicked out of the league. Batman is a cautious guy, which is putting it lightly. He's downright paranoid and extremely methodical. So, he created a contingency plan to defeat each of his Justice League allies just in case someone ever went rogue. The catch is that, embarrassingly enough, those plans were stolen by one of his biggest enemies, Ra's al Ghul, who used them against the League. The League manages to overcome their challenges and eventually defeats Ra's. But with the villain down, the question remains how to deal with Batman's actions and whether he should be expelled from the League. The team puts it to a vote, reaching a deadlock of 6-6, where Superman has to cast the deciding vote. However, that doesn't even happen, because in his shame, Batman voluntarily resigns from the Justice League. So there you have it, folks. No amount of preparation could save Batman from all these messes, not just physically but mentally and emotionally, as we just saw. Thanks for joining me in this video. Drop a comment below if you knew about all these situations and what other humiliations Batman faced that I didn't mention. Write in the comments, and I'll make a part 2 of this video based on your thoughts. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell. DC has a ton of fresh news lately, and I'm bringing it all to you first. Subscribe to stay in the loop about everything going on in the DC universe. Also, check out those 2 videos popping up on your screen, I'm sure you'll like them. They were made just for you if you enjoyed this topic. Again, thanks a bunch, and catch you next time.